Have you ever noticed that some of the hardest conversations in a relationship are not about love? They're about money. Not cheating, not parenting, not family drama. Money. A conversation that starts with, "Can we talk about the credit card?" somehow turns into, "You never listen to me. You always spend too much. You don't understand how hard I work. You're controlling. No, you're irresponsible." And 5 minutes later, nobody is talking about the actual problem anymore. They're fighting about everything except money. Here's the thing. Money conversations usually aren't about money. They're about fear. They're about security. They're about trust. They're about feeling respected. They're about feeling like you're on the same team. And when money gets tight, those emotions get louder. I'm Ben Matthews, your friendly neighborhood bankruptcy attorney, and this is Debt Sucks. Because let's face it, adulting is hard. Debt makes it harder. And today we're talking about something that affects almost every relationship: how to have money conversations without turning them into arguments. Why money conversations blow up. So let's start with something important. Most couples don't actually fight about money. They fight about what money represents. So think about it, right? A husband sees his wife spending $300 shopping, and he thinks she doesn't respect how hard I work. The wife hears him complain. She thinks he doesn't appreciate everything I do. That argument is not about $300. The argument is about feeling valued. Or maybe one spouse wants to save every dollar and the other wants to enjoy life. One person thinks we need to be responsible and the other thinks we're only young once. Both people believe they're right. And that's the problem. Money brings your history, your experiences, and your emotions into the room. Maybe you grew up in a house where money was always tight. Maybe you remember your parents fighting about bills. Maybe you watched someone lose everything. Maybe you grew up where money was never discussed. Your money habits didn't appear out of nowhere. They came from somewhere. And your partner's habits came from somewhere too. The first step in having a better money conversation is understanding. Your partner isn't just bringing numbers to the table. They're bringing their story. One of the biggest mistakes couples make is assuming if they loved me, they would handle money the way I do. And that's just not true. People have different money personalities. Some people are naturally savers. Some people are naturally spenders. Some people like spreadsheets. Some people would rather never look at a bank account. Some people want every detail. Some people want the big picture. And none of these are automatically right or wrong. They just mean you have different wiring. So let's use an example. Meet Sarah and Mike. Sarah grew up with parents who struggled financially. The electricity got shut off once. Bills were stressful, so now Sarah checks the bank account every day. She has anxiety when money goes down. Mike grew up differently. His parents were comfortable. They didn't talk about money much. When Mike spends money, he isn't trying to be irresponsible. To him, money is something you use to enjoy life. Now imagine they get married, and Sarah sees Mike spending $500 on a hobby. She thinks he doesn't care about our future. Mike sees Sarah questioning every purchase, and he thinks she doesn't trust me. Same transaction, two completely different viewpoints. The solution isn't deciding who is wrong. The solution is learning each other's money language. Here's a mistake I see all the time. Couples wait until something is wrong. The credit card bill is too high, the bank account is low, a payment is overdue. Then they have the conversation. But when you're already angry, scared, or embarrassed, you're not having a financial conversation. You're having an emotional reaction. It's like waiting until your car engine is smoking before you check the oil. Money conversations need maintenance, not emergencies. You need regular check-ins, not because something is wrong, because something matters. Think about successful businesses. They have meetings. They review numbers. They adjust. They don't wait until the company is failing. Your household is the most important organization you run. It deserves the same attention. The weekly money meeting. Now I know some of you just heard that and thought, a money meeting? That sounds terrible. Understand, nobody wants a meeting where someone shows up with a spreadsheet and says, "We need to discuss your Amazon purchases." That's not what I'm talking about. The goal is not punishment. The goal is partnership. And here's how to do it. Rule 1, schedule it. Don't randomly bring up money. Don't start the conversation when someone walks in the door. Don't start it during a fight. Pick a time. Maybe Sunday evening, maybe Saturday morning, whatever works for you. 30 minutes and that's it. Rule 2, start with wins. Most couples start with problems. Don't do that. Start with what went right this week. Maybe we stayed under our grocery budget. Maybe we made an extra payment. We avoided using the credit card. Celebrate progress. Progress creates momentum. Rule 3, look at reality. This is where the brutally honest money breakdown comes in. Check what came in, what went out, what needs attention. No blame, no shame, just information. Numbers are neutral. People make them emotional. The 3 rules for difficult money conversations. So sometimes you do need to have a hard conversation. Maybe there's debt. Maybe someone hid spending. Maybe you're thinking about bankruptcy. Maybe you're nowhere near your goals. So here are 3 rules. Rule 1, attack the problem, not the person. This is probably the biggest mistake people make. Instead of you spend too much, try our spending is higher than our income and we need a plan. See the difference? The first attacks identity. The second addresses the problem. Nobody wants to feel like the enemy, especially from the person they're supposed to be building a life with. Rule 2, replace judgment with curiosity. Instead of, why did you buy that? Try, help me understand what was important about that purchase. The question changes everything, because sometimes spending isn't about the item. Maybe someone bought something because they were stressed. Maybe they felt deprived. Maybe they were trying to reward themselves. Understanding doesn't mean agreeing, but you cannot solve what you don't understand. Rule 3, focus on the future. The purpose of the conversation is not to prove who was right. The purpose is to decide, where are we going? Ask, what kind of life are we trying to build? Do we want to stress less? Do we want to travel? Do we want to buy a house? Do we want to retire? Your future goals should become bigger than today's argument. So let's talk about debt, because debt creates a special kind of tension. Debt creates shame, and shame makes people hide. I have seen this in my bankruptcy practice for years. People don't usually wait because they don't know there's a problem. They wait because they're embarrassed. They think, I should have known better. I should have fixed this already. I don't want my spouse to be angry. But hiding money problems makes them worse. A debt problem is a math problem, not a character judgment. This conversation needs to sound like this. We have a problem. We need to solve it together. Let's figure out the next step. Not, you did this, you caused this, you ruined everything. Because the truth is, most couples don't need another person to blame. They need a plan. The rock pile conversation. One of the best ways to take emotion out of debt is to make it visible. That's why I created the rock pile. Write down every debt, the balance, the interest rate, the minimum payment, the monthly burden. Because debt hiding in your head feels overwhelming. Debt on paper becomes a problem you can solve. Imagine 2 couples. Here's the first. We have too much debt. And the second, we have $42,000 in debt, an $8,000 credit card, $15,000 car loan, $19,000 in student loans. We know exactly where we are. Which couple has more power? The second one, because awareness creates options. Another common problem. One person becomes a financial manager. They pay the bills, they track everything, they know every number. The other person says, I don't know, you handle it. That feels convenient until it isn't, because the money person becomes overwhelmed and the other person becomes disconnected. Money is a team sport. Even if one person is better with numbers, both people need awareness. You don't both have to love spreadsheets, but both people need to know, where are we? Where are we going? What are we working toward? Let's talk about something people don't discuss enough. Money stress affects your relationships. It affects your patience, your sleep, your confidence, your ability to enjoy life. When you're constantly worried about money, you have less emotional energy for everything else. That's why financial stability is not just about dollars. It's about peace. It's about being able to sit at dinner and not worry about the bill. It's about being able to answer the phone without fearing a creditor. It's about being able to make decisions from confidence instead of panic. Money conversations are not about spreadsheets. They're about building a safer life together. Hey, let's get real for a sec. The Debt Sucks plan, it's awesome. It works. But not everyone has the time or the patience to chip away at their financial Mount Everest. Maybe you're drowning right now, like creditors calling your grandma, paycheck gone before it lands, sleepless nights counted drowning. Sound familiar? Listen, you don't have to white-knuckle your way through this alone. Instead of spending years battling debt $1 at a time, I've got you. Bankruptcy isn't a failure, it's a fresh start. And sometimes hitting reset is the smartest thing you can do. At my law firm here in South Carolina, we take the time to listen to your story and help you figure out if bankruptcy is the right choice for you. No pressure, no judgment, just straight answers and real solutions. And if you don't live in South Carolina, don't worry. I can connect you with a trusted attorney in your state. Wherever you are, help is closer than you think. So if you're ready to stop the stress and start fresh, visit debtsucks.info to share a little about your situation or call my office for a free consultation. Let's find your path forward together, because sometimes you don't need a plan, you need a damn lifeline. Let me be that lifeline. Here's your challenge this week. Have one money conversation, not a fight, a conversation. Use these questions. What is the one thing we're doing well financially? What is one thing causing us stress? What is one financial goal we want to accomplish together? What is one small step we can take this month? Small conversations create big changes. If this episode helped you, share it with someone who needs a better money conversation. And go to debtsucks.info to grab your free Debt Sucks tools, the Rock Pile Debt Tracker, the Brutally Honest Money Breakdown, the Level Up Money Plan. Because the first step to fixing your money is getting honest about where you are. Let's stop letting money problems become relationship problems. Here's what I want you to remember. Money problems rarely get solved by avoiding money conversations. They get solved by better conversations. The goal is not to have identical money personalities. The goal is to become a team. You don't have to agree on everything, but you do need to understand each other. You do need to be honest, and you do need a plan. Because the strongest relationships aren't the ones that never have money problems. They're the ones that can talk about money problems without tearing each other apart. Remember, adulting is hard. That makes it harder. But you don't have to fight your way through it alone. Build the plan, have the conversation, create the life you actually want. I'm Ben Matthews. This is the Debt Sucks Podcast. I'll see you next time.